Justin Gaethje, dare I say he is one of the weirdest top contenders in the sport. Strong wrestling base, but manages to break his opponent's spirit in the stand-up game. Every single fighter he has won against in the UFC has continued on with their career with a bigger loss ratio. And that is me putting it in the nicest way possible. This definitely took a toll on Michael Johnson, not just from the knockout, but to be in the top 5 and get knocked out by Justin Gaethje, his UFC debut, and KO'd a top 5 contender, just like that. Safe to say, he did not recover from that too well. And just before that fight, he got submitted by Khabib, so this may possibly be the Khabib effect, who knows. But his record after the Gaethje fight became a solid 4-7, the best record we actually have in this video, where 3 of his wins came from decision and 1 by KO, knocking out Alan Patrick. Who's Alan Patrick for the casual viewer? Exactly. And from his 7 losses after Justin, he got submitted by rear naked choke, then knocked out by Josh Emmett in 2019, lost to decision after that, ankle locked, and lost by decision twice, and recently got knocked out for more salt on the wound. And like I said earlier, the best UFC record we have for this video. Before we jump into James Vick, Gaethje had an undefeated record after the Michael fight and was top 5. He got matched with Eddie Alvarez, the former champ, so if Justin secured the win against Eddie, that's a title shot right there. But he fumbled bad, and fumbled worse against Dustin Poirier after that. And if you know Justin Gaethje, he actually improves fast compared to other fighters, so I wouldn't worry about this too much. But jumping back to James Vick, he fights Justin Gaethje and gets knocked out clean. From a simple 1-2 as well. It looks like a lead overhand and then a rare one, because just before the knockout, Justin was feinting a lot of body shots and ducks, leading to the exposed chin just like that. James Vick holds an impressive 0-5, including the Justin loss, where the UFC basically deserted him after losing too much. Losing to Paul Felder, knocked out by Dan Hooker and Nico Price all within the same year, and a bonus loss. Yeah, a bonus loss. He got KO'd again in another organization to really put the nail in the coffin. Everyone loves this guy, so it was hard to watch this one, but it was a canon event regardless. Round 1 right hook and out cold. Really shows the power where it really just takes one punch. Because later on in the Tony Ferguson section, he tanked about like 50 of those. After that, Edson Barboza barely lost against Paul Felder and Dan Ige, but making a comeback with 2 back-to-back wins, then 2 back-to-back losses against real prospects, and then 2 back-to-back wins again. Yeah, this weight division is weird. Originally last year, this record was meant to be a 3-6, but his recent fight with Sodiq Yusuff really showed that dog in him, where he turned the tables from round 1 and then ended by a unanimous decision win. We saw this one coming. The TKO that turned into a KO and then just pissed Justin off. Knowing Justin Gaethje's power now, it's pretty obvious the 0-5 was coming. Following this is his iconic TKO from Conor McGregor, then a decision loss against Anthony Pettis, a no contest literally because Nico Price tested positive for weed, so that happened, and then a TKO loss to Alex Morono and submission by Jim Miller. Mad respect for Donald Cerrone to make it this far, and I almost feel bad putting him in a video like this. Now this one just makes me feel real bad. To be fair, Tony is the only one who survived not actually getting knocked out cold by Gaethje, but to think his chin at the time would be his downfall. Kind of. Later in Tony's career, he definitely sustained some permanent body damage to his arms, legs, and whatnot, but the concussive brain damage, specifically the boxing trauma, was definitely from Gaethje, and Tony never came back, having a record of 0-7 since then. We are at the later and recent stages where this may not be important, but could definitely age well in the future, so I'm doing the typical UFC fan and placing my bets. Michael Chandler may or may not get away with the Justin Gaethje effect because this was Justin Gaethje's first UFC win by decision. So Michael Chandler might be too ambitious to give up, knowing he has a fight booked with McGregor, but with a strong striker like Conor coming in to fight Michael, it might just give him Justin Gaethje flashbacks, so who knows about this one. This one is a bit of a stretch, but it is the latest fighter. Fiziev made this one a war or in an extremely close fight where Justin barely won by majority decision. Then it just sounds more like a curse now, but he lost against Gamrot because of an accidental TKO. Tore his ACL, I'm pretty sure, and there is a chance he may not come back as the same athlete because of it. So adding up all the records, we have a combination of 9 and 34. So you have an 80% chance to lose when you have a loss against Justin Gaethje. A bonus one for current news is he bet Dustin Poirier with a head kick KO, and he booked a fight against Benoit Saint-Denis. I pronounced that very correctly. A strong contender from France, having basically all fights ending with a finish in the UFC, and booked for UFC 300 is Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway. So if pattern follows suit, I'm praying for Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier. And for Max Holloway, I feel like it's just gonna be a fun fight regardless. The strongest chin versus the strongest career chin breaker.